The Marvelous Three. Most people's probably not have heard of the Marvelous Three. I know you have you Butch fanatics that the world revolves around Marvelous Three and Butch's solo career. But most people's not heard of them. Personally, they're probably one of my top 5 bands ever. And 2 of their records is probably in my top 10 and maybe even top 5. I don't know, but we're going to dive into it just a little bit on the heels of them announcing some reunion shows. They're coming to Nashville. I think they got some in LA, Atlanta, of course. We'll get into that. But yeah, Marvelous Three. You've never heard of them, but damn, you should. Coming next. Hey, everybody. This is Jones, and welcome to Hanging with Drummer Boy Jones. And I'm glad you could tune in and check this video out. I hope you enjoy it. Do all the little things in the little corner down here. Subscribe, like, notify, comment. I would really appreciate that. But on this episode, I'm going to go over the Marvelous Three. The Marvelous Three consist of guitar, vocalist Butch Walker, bass player Jayce Fincher, and drummer Doug Mitchel, also known as Slug. They've got a past of, they've got a hair band past. A lot of people, know this, but a lot of people does not. And so they come out in the late 80s. They're from suburbs of Atlanta, Georgia. I think Rome, Cartersville, things like that, or places like that. I'm not sure exactly which towns each people, but Rome, Cartersville. And so they headed out in the late 80s and went to Los Angeles and formed a band called South Gang. And I know they had previous Bite the Bullet and those kind of things, but their first major break was South Gang. And South Gang released 2 records in the late 80s, early 90s. Was played on MTV, and musician-wise was really good. I thought South Gang was good. I seen Tainted Angel on MTV, like Headbangers Ball or something, and I bought it and really enjoyed that record. And then their second record, I'll put it up here. Group Therapy, I think, was the name of it. I know they had Push, Pull, Tug of War. That was a good song off that record. Actually, both records was solid. I mean, that was really good and really solid. I think they just sort of missed their window. They was a little late to the party, so they sort of fizzled out. And you can YouTube South Gang and things like that. But yeah, check them out. Tainted Angel was a video. I think Tug of War was actual video, and there's a couple more, but you can check them out. But yeah, they was good. And so after that ended, they sort of went away a little bit. I say they went away. I don't think they ever went away, but they kicked the singer out, or the singer quit. I'm not for sure. I think his name was Jesse. I'm sorry, I'm not. Don't have notes on it. I can't remember. I think his name was Jesse Hart. Jesse Hart, that was his name. And a really good vocalist, but I don't know what happened with that dynamic. But the 3 guys, Butch and Slug and Jayce, stayed together, and they done more of a in-house. I think they've been stated that they toured in a van, and they formed Floyd's Funk Revival. And they played, I think, a lot in the South and up the East Coast and things like that. And actually, I think there was another lady that was maybe the bass player's wife, Jayce's wife. She was in the band as well. So I think there was 4 of them. I'm not very up on that. I've read about it. I know there's Floyd's Funk Revival. Then they went to the Floyds, and I don't know if and I don't remember her name. I've read it, and I apologize, but I think maybe she was out of the band. Then there's the Floyds, but anyways, eventually they became the Marvelous Three, and the Marvelous Three issued their first record in 1997, and it was called Math and Other Problems. Now, I think this was an independent release. I've heard it. I think it's a good record. Nothing really jumped out at me. I don't think they played a lot from that record. I'm not for sure. Uh, but so they done it. But it did get enough traction that they started getting some record interest again in the late 90s. Now, I don't know if they hid their hairband past, because usually in the mid to late 90s, if you was a hairband or whatever, you was blackballed, so you was, nobody wanted nothing to do with you. However, they got signed to Elektra, and I think their first Elektra release was the Hey album, Hey album. Got it right here. Never been opened, um, but this was their first major release, and they had some success with this in the late 90s. Like I said, 1998. Uh, Freak of the Week was the big thing that sort of took off for them on this record. Now, the record didn't sell that much. I don't know how many it sold. I'm not for sure. Uh, but man, is it a great record. It's so good. We'll dive into it in just a few minutes. But so they followed it up right after that with 1998. Actually, it wasn't 98. I'm sitting here reading. Sorry, 98, I think, was the Hey album. And in 2000, they released Ready, Sex, Go, the Marvelous Three. Also, never been opened. However, these are reissues. I mean, these just come out not long ago, but still, I've never opened them. This record is also amazing. Absolutely amazing. If you like pop rock with a little bit of edge, Butch's lyrics are so clever. That's one thing that really jumped out to me, was his lyrical content. Those two records are unbelievable. So I can't believe, and I think that one only sold like 30,000 copies. Holy shit. That's just baffling to me, because nobody ever heard them. Nobody didn't know who they were, and those are two masterpieces for me. They really, really are. And I just took a whim on them because I heard, hey, do you remember that hairband South Gang? And I was like, yeah, that's a pretty good record. That wasn't bad. Well, you need to check this out. And I checked them out. And of course, I didn't know the Hey album when it first come out. And I think the Ready, Sex, Go album had come out. And so that was sort of my first introduction to Marvelous Three. Was the second record, or I guess you could say the third record, but the second major release. And I thought it was insane. Absolutely insane. Went back to the Hey record, and I was like, holy shit, this is just as good as that record. It was unbelievable. There's both great, great records. Well, then the party ended. They broke them up. And I was just like, I say they broke them up. They wasn't getting push. And them three has been together since the mid to late 80s. They went plumb through the 90s. They went into the 2000s. They've played in vans. They've been on TV shows. They had videos and done it all themselves. and they're still best of friends. However, they couldn't make a living. So they split up on their own and still remain really good friends, which I think is unbelievable, especially in the music business. It's really, really good. But, uh, you know, so it fizzled out and they went their separate ways, still remain very close, very good friends. And Butch starts a solo career. Um, and then his first record come out, Left of Self-Centered, and I'm not really sure what year that was. If it was like in the early 2000s. I love the record. Thought Butch's. It's called Butch Walker, and I'll put a pick up. Left of Self-Centered. Another amazing album. To me, it should. It sounded like it was the next progression. It could have easily been Marvelous Three's next record. I've not looked at the credits. I'm sure Butch wrote most of the stuff. But and then he followed it up with Letters, which was another great record. And I had the privilege of seeing both of those. He would come to Nashville. I don't remember what it was. Maybe the Exit Inn. I seen him there. I seen him at 12th and Porter, maybe. Um, 3rd and Langley, I believe I seen him there once. I've seen Butch solo several times. And every time it's amazing. YouTube any of his stuff. He keeps the crowd so engaged. The crowd sings every single word to every single one of his songs. Also look up the Marvelous Three. They've come back 2 or 3 years ago. They got back together, which Butch had always done solo shows, and the guys would jump up and sing a song or two with them, and sort of mini reunion for a song or two, whatever. But I think in 2022 or 2023, I believe it was, they announced they was getting back together. And for me, that was a huge deal, very huge deal. And they recorded another album, and it is called Marvelous Three. And it's actually called, you can't see the spine, but it's actually Marvelous Three, number 4. Never opened it either. Once again, another good record. Very, very good record. But moving back to Butch's solo stuff. Now, this is just me personally. I loved Butch's first 2 or 3 records. I loved The Spade. I think that was Butch and the Black Widows, maybe. He had Butch in the Let's Go Out Tonight. So Butch has a lot of solo records. Towards the later years, it's more of a singer-songwriter kind of thing, and that's fine. He writes a really good song, but I tend to lean toward the more rockin' stuff. So I liked, and I think even Butch's on record, I don't even think he likes Left of Self-Centered. I think it's freaking amazing. I don't know, and also Butch, and I'm rambling. This is off the cuff. I don't have notes. I don't have nothing, but, Butch is a huge producer. He's done Pink. He's done Avril Lavigne. There's several more. He's written songs. I mean, the guy is a multimillionaire just from his producing and his songwriting, and an amazing songwriter. But man, those Marvelous Three, going back to those Marvelous Three records is unreal. And we'll go into each one of them real quickly. I don't want to make this long and drawn out, but I do, because today tickets went on sale for Nashville, Los Angeles, Atlanta, and New York. So the Marvelous Three, every year they've been doing Atlanta shows for like 3 or 4 shows. They sell out, and they do another one and another one and another. So they do like 3 or 4 shows back to back in Atlanta, which I live right outside of Nashville. I could make the trip down to Atlanta, and I've become really close to doing it 2 or 3 times, but I just didn't pull the trigger. And I've always been sort of pissed off because I never did pull the trigger, because I listened to these records a lot. And So on social media, Facebook, X, Instagram, so they've been sort of teasing that something's going to happen. Well, then they announce, and lo and behold, there's a Nashville show. So on 9/26, they're playing at the Brooklyn Bowl. There was a pre-sale today. If you're interested, passcode is CHARM, CHARM, CHARM. It's not really a secret, but it's all over their social media. But if you wanted to go see them, I suggest you get on it and go on it early because it will sell out. For a band that's only sold 30,000 copies, I guarantee you every show they do will sell out. They have a huge following, which don't, they play smaller places. So, if they sold 30,000 records, I guess the 3,000 that fills a place or however big it is, they're going to be there. And they're going to be there with bells on and whistles, and I'm one of them. I'm going to be there. And I cannot wait because I've never seen the Marvelous Three live with the original band. Of course, there's never been a Marvelous Three without the original band. But yeah, I'm so excited for this. I called my wife today and I was like, Lori, I got tickets to Marvelous Three. And she's like, oh, really? You did? I was like, yeah, I got tickets. I finally got tickets. I'm going to go see them. Because even when Butch does solo stuff, and he plays 12th party, he plays smaller places, 500 seaters, 1,000 seaters. 2 minutes, they're gone. And he's in demand. I mean, as in that limitation, If he plays Bridgestone tomorrow, no, it ain't going to sell out. It ain't probably going to be half full. But what he does, he it generates business and it generates want. And he plays in packed shows, packed clubs, packed theaters. That's what they do, and they do it unbelievably well. Please do yourself a favor. Look on YouTube and check up Marvelous 3. They've released some DVDs. You can go to butchwalker.com. You can buy shirts. You can buy DVDs. You can buy albums, and I've done all of that. I support them. I absolutely love them. But so right after this, we'll go through the songs really quickly, and I won't bore you with this other stuff, but we will go check them out. Give me a sec. So first up, we got Marvelous 3. This is the Hey album. That was their first major record debut. And I'll put pictures up too, but anyways. So this one, I got it. It's an orange vinyl pressing. I think the first one was a gray vinyl pressing, I think. I wasn't lucky enough to get one of those, but I did get the orange. It's not been opened. And I'm going to crack this thing open before too much longer. So side one, You're So Yesterday, Freak of the Week, Until I See You, Write It on Your Hand, Let Me Go, Ever Monday. Side two, Indie Queen, number 27, Miss Jackson, Over Your Head, Vampires in Love, and Lemonade. Every song on this record, I'm not going to go through individual song by song because every one of them is practically a 10 out of a 10 in my book. If you don't like it, you're stupid. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But if you haven't heard it, please just go check it out. Download it. Put it on your music player. If you collect vinyl, go to butchwalker.com. There still might be some available. I know they've released different colored vinyls, so probably still available in a later different colored vinyl. I'm reaching over here. Next, Marvelous 3, Ready, Set, Go. Now, this was my introduction to Marvelous 3. This was their second release. And I just turned the drink over and it's going everywhere. This is on white vinyl, limited to 500 copies. It was released in white, blue, and red. Yes, I'm a junkie. I got every one of them. So, side A, this is a double record, okay? Side A, Little Head, Grant Park, Get Over, Sugar Buzz, Supernatural Blonde, Radio Tokyo, Cold as Hell, Beautiful. That was side A and side B. Second vinyl, I'm Losing You, This Time, Better Off Alone, I Could Change, Cigarette Lighter Love Song, which they always close their shows with that, so which amazing song. Side D is radio commercials, I'm Losing You, the credits. Fast Boat, Always Something There to Remind Me, and Filling in the Years. All bonus tracks. Be honest with you, hadn't heard the bonus track because I hadn't opened it yet. But the actual record itself, oh, 10 out of 10. Marvelous 3, number 4. And this was the last one they released. I'm not going to give it all songs 10 out of 10 because I don't think they are. This sounds a little bit more like a Butch solo record, but hell, Marvelous 3 was a Butch solo record. But this sort of sounds more of the progression that Butch was going on. However, it is rocking and it is good. It's very good. I would probably give it an 8 out of a 10. I still listen to it all the time. My old school metal heart, kill a motherfucker that breaks your heart, growing all my hair out. If we're on fire, let it burn. Such a good song. PTSD, post-touring singer's depression. Jackie and Tina, The Devil Made the World While God Was Sleeping. Time to Let You Go, She Sheila, and Curtains. And amazing. It's an amazing record. I don't think it's as good as the previous two I mentioned, but it's a good record. It's a great record. It's an amazing record. I done said that 3 freaking times, but sorry. It says all songs written by Butch Walker except for She Sheila. So Butch and Butch, I didn't read the credits to all the others, but Butch probably wrote all of them. So do yourself a favor. If you like pop influenced hooky music with a guitar and an edge a little bit, do yourself a favor and get these records. At least check them out. I think you'll really, really enjoy them. Especially, I love Poison and Warrant and Motley Crue, and all that stuff. So I'm a big hooky type of guy. I like hooks. I like something that catches my ear, catchy lyrics. A lot of the 80s stuff, yeah, it's tongue in cheek, and a lot of it didn't age very well. Those do. They really, really do. So give them a chance. Check them out. And thank you for watching. Like I try to say every time, don't be a dick. Be nice to each other. Your views, my views, somebody else's views, they're all different and they don't mean shit. Everybody's views is important to themselves. Same with mine. My views is very important to me. So be good to one another. Love one another. Take it easy. And I'll see you next time. Thanks again for watching. Peace.